What is up, and welcome back to another episode of Blood and Beer, the show where we talk blood sport and we drink beer. As always, we've got some MMA to talk, some beer to drink. The beer we're sipping on today, it's Fun, Fresh, Fast, Nopal Mexican Style Lager. I don't know, they were selling singles of it at the wine rack, so I was like, fuck it, let's try it. F it, sorry, try not to cuss. It's pretty good, tastes kind of like a more citrusy Corona. I don't know. It's alright. Anyways, into the blood sport, into the MMA. We got PFL Battle of the Giants. If you didn't know what was going down this weekend, I can't say I blame you because PFL is horrible at marketing and promoting their stars, their cards, themselves. They're just dog poo, dog duty. Not doing very well, but we got a pay-per-view this weekend coming at you. It's the best they have to offer. It's the best they can do. It's $50, absolutely absurd. The only people that are going to pay for it is the MMA media. And last year, when they had a pay-per-view, or earlier this year, you couldn't even find an illegal stream on it hardly because nobody cares about the PFL that much. It's insane. But we got Francis Ngannou. He's making his long-awaited return. He's taking on PFL champion from last year, Renan Ferreira, and this is for the Lineal Heavyweight Championship in MMA. Francis Ngannou knocked out Stipe Miocic, who had the Lineal Championship up until that point. Knocks him out, goes away, does his thing, comes back, still has that championship. How does PFL market it? Not that there's a belt on the line, not that they're fighting for the heavyweight championship. No, none of that. It's Battle of the Giants. Two big guys are fighting. We got two giant people fighting. Big people, heavyweights, big guys fight. Big guys punch. That's their thought process in the marketing for this. Terrible, absolutely terrible. But we're going to get into some picks on this. And it's a pick'em show. It's not going to be a full 1,000 up because there's not a shot in hell with these odds. It's not happening. So we'll get started with the fights that matter, the fights that you might know about, or fighters you might know about. We got Raufeon Stots taking on Marcus Breno. Raufeon Stots is a minus 470 favorite. Breno's coming back plus 360. And, Breno doesn't have a bad record or anything, but they're setting Stots up to look good on the pay-per-view. They want to have a star, a recognizable name, a former champion go out and look really good, kick off things. I don't think Breno is on his level. You look at his record, the guys that he's lost to, he's lost to Danny Sabatello, Taylor Lapilus, a striker and a wrestler. I think that Raufeon Stots is better at striking than Lapilus and better on the ground than Danny Sabatello, as he's shown in their previous fights. It's a pretty obvious pick. It's a 3-rounder. Raufeon Stots is going to get the job done, but no bet here because the money's just it doesn't make sense to put that kind of money down. Speaking of not making sense to put any kind of money down, we got Johnny Elbin taking on Fabian Edwards in a rematch. First time they fought, Eblin knocked out Edwards in the third round. This time they're going back on the PFL. I think they're doing 5 rounds, but who knows? Minus 625 for Johnny Eblin, plus 455 for Fabian Edwards. No bet on here, no shot at all. Johnny Eblin is one of the best in the world. And Fabian Edwards, I've always thought that he's a guy Bellator, when they were still a company they wanted to push, but he just could never reach the pinnacle, never reach the mountaintops that they wanted him to. So no bet here. I'm seeing another one-sided performance. Eblin, he's going to be able to out-wrestle him. He's equal, if not better on the feet, more power. Yeah, we got Johnny Eblin, landslide in that one. No bet, though. But this one's a lot closer. I think it's the closest on the card. We got McKee taking on Paul Hughes. And, closest matchup on the card. 2 rising stars. McKee's been a rising star forever. He was the Bellator champion, first guy to beat Pitbull in a really long time. He's a beast everywhere. His submission game, deadly. Striking is formidable. He's a smart striker. He's not the most flashy, but he uses his jab real well. He'll catch you. He can move out of the way of your shots. Really good wrestler also. Then you got Paul Hughes, who's got power in his hands. This dude's electric. He's coming over from Cage Warriors, I believe, and he won his PFL debut. Now he's fighting in Bellator. Winner of this fight's probably going to get Umar Nurmagomedov. We got minus 190 for AJ McKee, plus 165 for Paul Hughes. And I just think that the submission attack, the wrestling, and his accuracy from AJ McKee, of course, it's going to be too much for Paul Hughes. I think Paul Hughes is going to be that next big thing, just not yet. I think AJ McKee's time is here and now. Guy's just been kind of put on the back burner because the PFL Tour doesn't know what the F they're doing, and they're squandering their stars, they're squandering their talent. Makes no sense. Now, that's the closest matchup on the card, I think. Closest matchup from the odds makers. We got Larissa Pacheco taking on Chris Cyborg, and Pacheco's a favorite in this. Couldn't believe it. We got plus 110 for Cyborg, minus 130 for Pacheco, and Pacheco's good. She's big, she's strong. She's not a better striker than Chris Cyborg. She's not a better grappler than Chris Cyborg. I don't think she hits harder than Chris Cyborg. Cyborg's got a better chin. Just more skilled everywhere. She's an expert everywhere, Chris Cyborg is. She just likes to keep it on the feet, and Pacheco is not going to be able to hold a candle to her on the feet. This was easy money to me, I thought. We got 150 on Chris Cyborg as a plus 110 dog. Gets you 315 back. And that's all we got as far as bets go for this card, because it's just such a bad deal that we got going on there. But yeah, so Chris Cyborg, we got 150 on her, gets us 315 back, and that brings us to the main event. We got Francis Ngannou. He's taking on Renan Ferreira, and when I wrote this show the other day, the odds were minus 285 for Francis, plus 230 for Renan. Now I think it's closer to minus 325 for Francis, and plus, let's see here. Plus 280 for Renan. So we're getting closer, or getting further away in the odds, but we're still not touching this because Francis has been away for 2 years. He got devastatingly knocked out by Anthony Joshua. He looked good against Tyson Fury, but he hasn't wrestled in competition in over 2 years. He's inconsistent. We don't know what to expect. And Renan Ferreira hits hard as hell. He's not really that good, but he's wild. He's 6'9". The upset shot is there. That'd be great for the PFL to be able to say we have the Lineal Championship. We're never going to talk about it again, but we have it. We have Renan Ferreira knocked out Francis Ngannou, the boogeyman of the UFC, the champion, the guy that was demolishing everybody. The only problem is when you don't fight in so long, especially at heavyweight, it just takes a one shot. And that Anthony Joshua shot could have been that one shot that did it for Francis Ngannou. We're not betting this fight either, of course. But yeah, so that's what we got. That's the breakdown of the card, I guess. It's such a bad job by PFL. We're going to rant on them real quick for the matchmaking. We had a bunch of Russians on this card. We didn't even go over their fights because why the hell are you putting a bunch of unknown Russian and Slavic fighters on a card that you're making people pay for when your product already sucks ass? You expect people to pay $50 for a pay-per-view. Get it together, Don Davis. You are such an idiot. After what you did at the Sphere, trying to disparage Kayla Harrison, trying to say how much better you are than UFC, you're spending more money than they spent on the Sphere for this card. Congratulations, you're bad at business because this card sucks. It's nothing compared to the Sphere. It's not going to blow people away. And you're not even promoting it. You're not letting anybody know it's happening. So the hardcore fans, like truly hardcore fans, know what's going on. But the casuals, and even not even casuals, just people that enjoy the sport that aren't quite hardcore, but they're not casual, they know what's going on. They don't know this is going on because unless you're tuned in to the dirt page sites and all that stuff, you don't know because they don't advertise at all. They're not out there doing pressers. They're not out there making YouTube videos. They're not out there putting commercials on ESPN. I don't know. PFL this year has been a flat tire on a 2005 Chevy Malibu that's sitting on the side of a highway in Ohio for 2 weeks. This promotion has been absolute dog crap poop. We'll see how it goes though. I hope it's a fun card. I hope it is. I hope it turns out great. I hope Francis Ngannou gets knocked out. I like the guy. It's nice to see some parity in sports. And when guys leave a promotion as a champ, and then a guy like Renan Ferreira, if people put him in the top 10 pound for pound because he knocks out Francis Ngannou, that would be absolutely ridiculous. I love it. I love when that kind of chaos happens. So we'll have to see. That's what we got for the show for you today. I appreciate you tuning in. It's been a short one, just PFL. I can only poop on them so much because they are just not doing good anymore. They were doing so good a few years ago, not doing very good anymore. But yeah, that's all we got for you. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think of this card coming up. Are you going to be watching it? Do you care about what the PFL is doing? And don't forget, this isn't even their last card of the year. They still got their championships coming up. Who knows when, because they don't promote that either. I'm Matt with Blood and Beer. Make sure you catch me next week. I'm going to be doing a recap from this upcoming weekend with UFC and PFL Tour going on, and then we'll have a later episode, a pick'em for UFC 308, Topuria versus Holloway. It's going to be a great card. You got Hamzat versus Whitaker on there. Card is absolutely stacked. I appreciate you tuning in. This has been a long, rambling rant. Toodles.